once more our glorious song. To her white and crimson banner, to her spirit proud and free, to alma mater now we sing in loving loyalty, Hastings to thee. Tonight, we once again recognize the spirit embodied in the hard-working pioneers who settled a community known as Hastings, Nebraska. We recognize the spirit of a group of men who founded Hastings College in 1882. We recognize the spirit of countless students, parents, faculty, administrators, trustees, and friends who have worked for the past 129 years to establish Hastings College as one of the finest liberal arts colleges in the nation. Such spirit is embodied in the work and dedicated service of the Society's previous inductees. The late Silas G. Kessler, the late Marvin Fink, the late Hal Laneson, the late Tom Creed, the late Benny Menke, the late Lloyd Wilson, Keith Urban, the late Irene Moore, the late Hal Doc Schiffler, the late Ann Batchelder, the late Willis Strauss, Walter Scott, the late Robert Doherty, Thomas Reeves, Arthur Langford, the late Virginia Belknap, Leroy Tone, the late Richard Speltz, Kenneth Morrison, the late Donald and the late Candace Landy, the late Helen Barrett, Robert Gray, Sarah Lear, the late O.J. McDougal, Tom Osborne, Carl Throckmorton, Richard Tickler, Eleanor Barber, Gilbert Adrian, Jerry Kerr, Gerald Hopen, Doris Colbar Morhart, Lawrence James, the late Grace Riley Minot, Wayne Geddish, Robert Shalott, the late Chuck Erling, Leota Butler Tyner, Clyde Sopelman, the late Dr. John Yost, the late Lloyd Jones, Glenda Pauly, Lynn Farrell, Robert Julian, Dwayne Bear Johnson, the late Dr. James Walter, Robert Foote, Darrell Lloyd, the Honorable Bill Barrett, Charles Evans, Dennis Storr, Calvin Johnson, Charles Herms, John C. Jack Osborne, the Armstrong McDonald Foundation, Clay Anderson, Charlie Gardner, Fred Hawkins Jr., Ken Rodas, Peter Kiewit Sons Incorporated, and Phil Dunn. Several members of the ProRege Society are with us this evening. Would those individuals please stand at the table and accept our appreciation and applause? Tonight's honorees, Tom Jorgensen, Will Locke, and Joanne Clemmer, have brought honor, pride, and recognition to Hastings College. Tonight, Tom, Will, and Joanne, we salute you and the spirit that continues to make Hastings College a great place. Hastings College class of '53, arrived as a freshman at Hastings College campus in 1949, and in ways visible and invisible, he has never left. A mayor of Old Bronx Hall, he was elected student body president his senior year. During his tenure, he convened a political convention to prod his classmates into making student government campaigns based on policy preferences rather than popularity. Upon graduation in 1953, the Bronco Award winner, originally from Sheridan, Wyoming, was drafted into the U.S. Army during the Korean War. In 1955, he returned to the Hastings College admissions office and became director of admissions in 1956. The relationships Tom established as he recruited an entire decade of students to Hastings College continues today. He maintains a remarkable treasure trove of personal narratives from the 1950s and 60s. In 1966, Tom left employment at the college. Putting to use his business administration degree, he served in positions with IBS Financial Services, Foot Equipment Company and Foot Tire Company, City National Bank, Hastings State Bank, and Jorgensen Financial Services. Meanwhile, Tom continued to assist with the college's fundraising campaigns, such as the Hastings College Centennial Campaign, and for several terms served on the HC Alumni Board of Directors. For his service as organizer for the class of 1953's Golden Graduation, Tom received the Hastings College Outstanding Alumni Award in 2003. In 2004, Tom joined the Hastings College Foundation as a senior associate with the alumni and the foundation, a position he held until this past March. His responsibilities included organizing Golden Graduations, initiating the Nifty 50s and Successful 60s competitive giving clubs, and visiting with the alumni he had introduced to the college. After graduation, Tom married his high school sweetheart, Eleanor Wilcox. Together, they raised 3 children in Hastings and became integral parts of Hastings' civic realm. Over the course of nearly 60 years, Tom has held various leadership roles at First Presbyterian Church, including service as a deacon and an elder. Additionally, he served as president of the Hastings School Board during the passing of school bonds, president of the Hastings Rotary International Club, and president of Laughlin Country Club. He has been active with the Boy Scouts, the Hastings YMCA, the Hastings Men's Chorus, and the Hastings Chamber of Commerce Ambassadors. Of all their achievements and contributions to their community, Tom and Eleanor are most proud of their family. Their sons John and Mark and daughter Sarah have provided them with 9 grandchildren: Jenny, Emily, Tyler, Katie, Ellen, Molly, David, Lindsay, and Casey. In 2009, 56 years after Tom received his Bronco Award, his granddaughter Ellen Jorgensen, Hastings College class of '09, was awarded the same honor. Tom? Ever since it was announced that you had been selected as one of tonight's inductees, a day has not passed that I did not receive a visit, or a phone call, or an email, or a letter suggesting a song to use for your The general suggestions, however, centered around, boy, I hope you really give it to him. No matter what music we use, or how we use it, it will never surpass what you have given us. Over the years, you have unstintingly served your alma mater and all of us associated with Hastings College. Tonight, for the boy from Wyoming, who is fondly known as Mr. Bronco, we salute you.
when that sheriff said, I'm sending you to jail. Old Tom raised his head and cried, oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in. Just let me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at Ellie till I lose my senses. I can't stand hobbles and I can't stand fences, so don't fence me in. Old Tom Jorgie back again in town, sitting by his sweetheart's side. And when his sweetheart said, come on, let's settle down, old Tom raised his head and cried, oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in.
That's pretty funny.
On a Sunday morn sat a maid forlorn, with her sweetheart by her side. Through the window pane she looked at the rain. We must stay home, Tom, she cried. There's a picnic too at the Old Point View. It's a shame it rained today. Then the boy drew near, kissed away each tear, and she heard him softly say, oh, won't you wait till the sun shines, Ellie, when the clouds go drifting by. Honey, we will be happy, Ellie, don't you cry. We'll go down Lover's Lane, we'll wander, sweethearts, you and I. Wait till the sun shines, Ellie, by and by. trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star. The dearest things I know are what you are. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are mine. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are
If I may just have a moment of personal privilege. You all don't know this, but every director of the Hastings College Choir since Dr. Fuller, Tom Jorgensen, has badgered them to audition for the college choir, to sing the Hastings College Choir. Tom, tonight's your chance. Don't start yet, but when I turn around and cue you, would you sing with the Hastings College Choir, Glory, Hallelujah, His Truth is Marching On? There's safety in numbers, maybe you'd all join.
evening is Dr. Will Locke. Dr. William Locke, Hastings College class of '61, Professor Emeritus of Teacher Education at Hastings College, has spent the last 50 years educating students in Hastings and beyond. For the last 28 years, he has been enriching the minds of Hastings College students, in particular, starting first as an adjunct instructor in 1984, becoming a full-time professor of teacher education in 1991, and through continuing to serve as an adjunct since his retirement in 2006. A valued educator, alumnus, and lifelong friend of the college, Will has never ceased to be a familiar face on our campus and an ardent representative beyond its physical borders. He can often be found on most days and in any weather, thoughtfully inspecting some of the campus' longest-lived residents, the more than 1,000 trees of the Hastings College Arboretum. Will is a passionate environmental steward and volunteer for the Hastings College Arboretum, Hastings Highlands Park Arboretum, and the Crane Trust Nature and Visitor Center. Since 1987, Will has led over 1,000 students and educators on Hastings College historic trails classes. They camped, they studied, and they survived along the Oregon Trail, Santa Fe Trail, Lewis and Clark Trail, Rocky Mountain Trails, and finally, the Rio Grande Trails in 2009. A son of the late Reverend Dr. Kenneth Locke, pastor, a Presbyterian pastor and executive presbyter of Missouri Union Presbytery, and longtime friend and contributor to Hastings College, Will has often served as a lay minister and Presbyterian steward on behalf of the college. His mother, Alice, honored the late Reverend Locke by establishing the Reverend Kenneth and Alice Locke Family Scholarship at Hastings College, awarded to students planning to attend seminary following graduation. Will has been a deacon, elder, and choir member at First Presbyterian Church in Hastings. He has served as a member of the National Education Association, Nebraska State Education Association, Nebraska Council for Teacher Education, and Lewis and Clark National Heritage Association, just to name a few. He is a member of the Nebraska Statewide Arboretum, the Hastings Tree Board, and the Adams County Historical Society. Commended for over half a century of service to the Hastings community, Will received the Bill Soul Community Service Award in 2007 and the Service to Mankind Award in 2011. He introduced outdoor education programming at the Hastings Middle School during his 28 years as an educator there. And in 1981, he was recognized as Nebraska Teacher of the Year. He was named a Hastings College Outstanding Alumnus in 2009. Will and his spouse of 50 years, Virginia Ginny Brom Locke, Hastings College class of 1963, a dedicated volunteer, educator, and respected early education specialist, first met as students at Hastings College. The couple has 3 children, Laura Locke, Kenneth and his wife Angie, Sarah Freeling, Hastings College class of 93, and her husband Christian, class of 93, and 4 grandchildren. Will, few people exemplify the meaning of a liberal arts education better than you. Teacher, historian, family man, musician, mountain climber, trailblazer, master gardener, lover of nature, tree planter, pulpit supplier, and servant of God. Tonight we thank you for your work for and on behalf of Hastings College. As an avid brass player, I trust you will enjoy the Hastings College Brass Quintet as they share Sonata, followed by what I'm sure should be your theme song, Ain't Misbehaving. As an avid mountain climber, we will take you on a Rocky Mountain High, performed by senior Chad Pinkerman. And as the steward of God's earth, we salute you with colors of the wind. Our salute to you closes with the choir's performance of Jesus Christ the Apple Tree, an anthem that recognizes 2 of your passions, your love for trees and your strong and enduring faith.
born in the summer of his 27th year, going home to a place he'd never been before. Oh, sorry. Left all his fears behind him. Might say he was born again. Might say he found the key to every door. When he first came through the mountains, his life was far away, on the road and hanging by a song. But the string's already broken and he doesn't really care, 'cause it keeps moving fast and it don't last for long. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I see it rain fire in the sky. The shadow from starlight is softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High. Now his life is full of wonder, but his heart still knew some fear of the simple things he could not comprehend. While he tried to tear the mountains down, make room for a couple more people, more scars across the land. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I see rain and fire in the sky. I know you'd be a poor man if you never saw an eagle fly. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I see rain and fire in the sky. Friends around the campfire, everybody's feeling high. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High.
final inductee this evening is Joanne Clemmer. Generations of Hastings College students pursuing medical careers will benefit from the generosity of Joanne Clemmer and her late husband, Herbert Clemmer, MD, class of 1933. Joanne Johnson Clemmer was born December 12, 1926 in Eugene, Oregon, and grew up in Republic County, Kansas. She attended Washburn University, Topeka, Kansas, majoring in English, and in 1953 received a BA. She then worked for the Meininger School of Psychiatry in Topeka, Kansas. There, she first met Herb. In 1956, she decided to pursue an MA in English from the University of Kansas. In English, and enrolled at the University of Chicago. She earned her MA in English from the University of Kansas in 1963. That same year, Herb and Joanne were married. Through Herb, Joanne became acquainted with Hastings College. A native of Trenton, New Jersey, where many sought work at Reveling Steel Mills, Herb, after graduation from high school, and from the advice of his mentor, chose to attend Maryville, Tennessee College. In time, he transferred to Hastings College, where the air was not filled with allergy-causing particles. Hastings faculty, like his influential high school teacher, encouraged him to be more than he had ever dreamt. At Hastings, Herb majored in chemistry and received his BS degree in 1933. Then he proceeded to earn a medical degree in 1937 from Jefferson Medical College in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Next, he served in the Army and was chief of the Veterans Affairs Outpatient Department in Danville, Illinois, where he began a psychiatric residency, which he completed at the Meininger School of Psychiatry in 1949. In addition to practicing psychiatry, Herb was director of the Meininger School of Psychiatry and a director of the Sloan Visiting Professorship Committee, which brought outstanding speakers to Meininger. He also was active in the American Psychiatric Association, and among the many positions he held, was chairman of the Ethics Committee and was a trustee of the APA. He also was active in the state and regional professional societies. During Herb's working years and after his 1991 retirement, Joanne and Herb traveled the world together and shared their love for golf. Herb died in 2000. Having seen how Hastings helped Herb start out in life, Joanne established the Clemmer Mentoring Program, which provides grants to top pre-med students as they prepare for MCAT, prepare for MCATs, visit respective medical schools, and shadow medical professionals. Joanne also established the Clemmer Memorial Scholarship Fund, which provides a scholarship to Hastings College's top junior in pre-med studies. Additionally, Joanne funded the Dr. Herbert Class of 33 and Joanne Clemmer Student Research and Observation Center in the college's Morrison Reeves Center for the Science Center Psychology Department. Mrs. Clemmer's philanthropy extends beyond the sciences. Thanks to her generosity, Hastings College hosted humorist David Sedaris in 2011. Projects which challenge students to see the world differently and encourage them to find what makes human life worthwhile remain Mrs. Clemmer's most cherished areas to support. Joanne, few people in this room know you personally. However, many know of your generosity to Hastings College, in memory and in honor of your husband, Herb. Tonight, we honor you and your husband with a performance by the Hastings College String Quartet, a song from your alma mater, Washburn University, a medley of hits from 1963, the year you and Herb were married, and a song about your favorite hobby, golf. Knowing that there is no place like home, we take you back to Kansas with Over the Rainbow, and close guaranteeing that this evening will ring in your memory and your heart for a long time to come. Enjoy.
world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around.
Heaven opens a magic door.
When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow, a highway to be found.
Leaning from your window to a place behind the sun,
Just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue.
And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
someday I will wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
Where troubles melt like lemon drops, away above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me.
Somewhere over the rainbow,
Oh, bluebirds fly.
Birds fly
Trotter, President of Hastings College and the Hastings College Foundation, for a few comments in the induction ceremony. President Trotter.
I'm always incredibly impressed by this event. I was actually invited to this last year, and I was sitting in the audience where you're at, and it was where I first started to fall in love with Hastings, so it's good to be back here on this side of the podium. I'm going to make one recommendation for next year. I think we should start a new drinking game. At any time Robin Kuzer starts to cry, everybody should take a break. But we'd all have to be driven home. I'd like to introduce the Hastings College trustees and their spouses who are with us this evening. Will you please stand and be recognized as I call your name, and then hold your applause until all have been introduced. Clay Anderson, David Burkholder, Tim Doherty, Kim Dinsdale and her spouse Tom, Hal Dittmer, Chairman of the Board, Lyle Lee Hardy and his spouse Diane, Gary Freeman, Don Jackson, Cal Johnson and his spouse Jane, Paul Krieger and his spouse Lynette, Jessica Meesky and her spouse Todd Pankratz, Michael Moody, Glenn Moss, Bill Nottage Tacey and his spouse Janie, Robert Unger, Doug Usher, Phil Werner and his spouse Colleen, and Gordon Whitten. Please join me in recognizing these individuals. I'd also like to recognize our former and honorary trustees and spouses in attendance this evening. Gail Byro and his spouse Paula. Please stand, as before, and follow the same directions. Bob Foote and his spouse Jane, Charles Herms and his spouse Margaret, Jerry Kerr and his spouse Sarah, Gretchen Laneson, spouse of the late former board chair Hal Laneson, Julie McDougall, spouse to the late board member O.J. McDougall, Jack Osborne and his spouse Pam, Leroy Tome and his spouse Jean. Please join me in recognizing these individuals. I'd also like to recognize Dr. Phil Dudley, President Emeritus of last year's ProRege Award recipient. He's also with us this evening. Phil, I especially want to thank you for your support and encouragement during my transition this past year. Please stand and be recognized. I'm going to take a brief detour from my prepared comments to tell a story on Phil, because I know that many of you will appreciate this. Last year was, at the October board meeting, was my first official board meeting. And I was sitting there at the head of the table, listening to Hal preside, and I got a text message on my phone, which I usually sit in front of me, but it was turned off, and it was a text message from Phil. And I thought, there must be something serious, I better take a look at this. And it was a picture of he and Tom Reeves on Tom Reeves' patio, each toasting me with a drink in their hand, saying, I'm glad it's you and not us. So the encouragement part is somewhat conditional. I also want to take a moment to recognize the people who have done such a wonderful job planning this dinner and this ceremony this evening. Will the following please stand and be recognized? Holly Sabatka, Senior Director of Alumni Relations and College Events, Camille Kirchhoff, Graphic Designer and Publisher, and Robin Kuzer, Chairman of the Music Department. Robin is, of course, our Artistic Director and is responsible for the entertainment portion of all ProRege events, which are always highly anticipated in this community. Please join me in recognizing them. I also want to thank our student alumni ambassadors for helping us host this event. And more than anything else, I want to thank our talented faculty and students from Hastings College for this memorable performance. And finally, those that are sometimes least recognized but most important to these events, the dedicated staff here at Lockland Country Club for the superb dinner and exceptional service and hospitality. As Robin indicated in the remarks read earlier, these individuals that we are recognizing this evening, Mr. Thomas Jorgensen, Mrs. Joanne Klemmer, and Dr. William Locke, have given their time, talents, and resources to make Hastings College a place of character, warmth, and distinction. As a dynamic student and hardworking member of the admissions office, and finally as a faithful staff member of the Hastings College Foundation, Tom inspired thousands of Hastings College students and alumni through his own passionate witness and testimony, as well as being the historical narrator and the teller of memorable stories. Tom is a true friend of the college, as well as a true friend to all who have ever had the pleasure of meeting him. In memory of her late husband, Dr. Herb Klemmer, a 1933 Hastings College alumnus, Joanna has generously supported countless opportunities for research and discovery, both on and off campus for our students, and has removed limitations, expanded horizons, and altered the reality of what students believe is possible. And finally, as a longtime professor in the Department of Teacher Education, Will has been a passionate advocate for the importance of excellence and experiential learning. In addition, he has demonstrated tremendous dedication and commitment in caring for the Hastings College Arboretum, making our campus a much more interesting and beautiful place and reminding us all of the invaluable resource and tremendous blessing that we daily take for granted. It is our great privilege to present them with the ProRege Award. I will now invite Mr. Jorgensen, Mrs. Klemmer, and Dr. Locke, as well as Chairman of the Board, Hal Dittmer, to come forward for the award ceremony.
Thank you, Dennis. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on behalf of the students, alumni, faculty, and staff, I do hereby confer upon you the ProRege Award for exceptional service at Hastings College. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present this year's inductees, Joanne Klemmer, Tom Jorgensen, and Dr. Will Locke.
Thank you, Hal and Dennis. Congratulations to this year's honorees. Tonight's inductees epitomize what is good: charity, faith, a sense of and dedication to community, a love for hard work, and passions for teaching and philanthropy, but most importantly, a conviction to quality and service to others. May the work, accomplishments, and actions of these people serve as excellent models for us to all emulate. May we all strive to build upon the wonderful legacies you have given to us and provided for Hastings College. To her spirit proud and free, Tonight, we have recognized the contributions of Dr. Will Locke, Joanne Clemmer, and Tom Jorgensen. We also recognize and celebrate the rich legacies represented by all of our past inductees. All of these people represent the spirit that has bonded Hastings College for almost 130 years, and that spirit which will continue to bond Hastings College for many years to come. Hastings College is much more than bricks and mortar. It's the people, their God-given spirit, and these rich legacies. With this in mind, please stand and join the Hastings College Choir in the singing of our